It was a hot summer morning in Atlanta. The cicadas buzzed in the trees, and the neighborhood lawns looked like a row of neatly painted postcards. Behind one of those doors lived Marcus Johnson, a 32-year-old IT worker who had just moved into the community 2 months ago. Marcus wasn't looking for drama. He was quiet, respectful, and just wanted to enjoy his new place. But trouble started almost as soon as he moved in. The neighborhood was managed by an HOA, homeowners association, that had a reputation for being strict. And in the middle of that, HOA stood one woman, Karen Whitfield. People in the neighborhood called her Karen for more than just her name. She had a habit of bossing people around, spying on them, and making life harder for anyone who didn't fit her idea of perfect. And Marcus, a young black man with a calm personality and no patience for nonsense, became her next target. Marcus ordered almost everything online. Work equipment, sneakers, even simple stuff like vitamins. But within his first month of living there, 3 of his packages never showed up. At first he thought maybe it was just delivery issues. But then one day he came home early from work. He parked his car quietly, walked up to his porch, and froze. Karen was standing right there, holding his brown Amazon box. Marcus dropped his keys. "Excuse me," he said, his voice calm but sharp. "That's mine." Karen jumped, looking caught, then quickly faked a smile. "Oh, Marcus, hi. I was just keeping it safe for you. Packages left out here could get stolen, you know." Marcus stared at her. "Funny," he said slowly. "I never asked you to do that." Karen chuckled awkwardly and placed the box back down. "Well, I'm just looking out for the neighborhood. We don't want trouble around here." The way she said it stung. The word trouble. Marcus didn't miss the way her eyes narrowed at him. Days turned into weeks. Each time, more packages disappeared. Marcus even set up a small camera by his window. And sure enough, the footage showed Karen walking up in broad daylight, grabbing his boxes and strolling off like she owned them. That was it. Marcus knocked on her door one evening. She opened, wearing her usual pastel sweater and pearl necklace. "Karen," he said firmly, holding his phone. "I've got you on camera taking my stuff. This stops today." Her eyes flickered. For a moment, she looked nervous. Then her expression hardened. "Young man," she snapped, "I'm the head of this HOA. I make sure everyone follows the rules. If you don't like it, maybe you picked the wrong neighborhood." Marcus clenched his jaw. "Rules don't give you the right to steal." Karen crossed her arms. "If you're going to accuse me of something, take it up with the HOA board. Good luck with that." And she slammed the door in his face. Marcus's plan. That night, Marcus sat in his living room, frustration bubbling inside him. Reporting her to the board wouldn't work. Karen practically was the board. Calling the police? He thought about it, but he knew how messy that could get. He needed a plan. Something smart. Something that would make Karen think twice before touching his porch again. That's when his best friend Devin called. "Yo, man, how's the new place treating you?" Devin asked. Marcus sighed. "Honestly, I think my neighbor's stealing my packages." Devin laughed. "What?" "That's some petty crime right there." "It's not funny," Marcus said, though a small smile tugged at his lips. "I caught her. She's bold about it, too." "So what you gonna do? You can't let her keep running your porch like it's Walmart." Marcus leaned back, his mind spinning. That's when the idea hit him. "What if," he said slowly, "the next box she picks up isn't what she expects?" Devin paused. Then he burst out laughing. "Bro, you're dangerous when you get quiet like that. What you thinking?" Marcus grinned. "Let's just say something smelly." Quick pause here. What would you do if your neighbor kept stealing your packages? Would you call the cops? Confront them? Or set up a plan like Marcus? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take before we see what Marcus does next. The next day, Marcus went to a local animal control shelter where his cousin worked. They had rescued a skunk recently, and after some careful conversations, Marcus managed to borrow a special transport crate. Don't worry, the skunk wasn't harmed. The crate was safe, ventilated, and temporary. He took a large empty Amazon box, placed the crate inside, and carefully sealed it. From the outside, it looked like any normal delivery. He even slapped a fake label on it. Fragile Electronics. Devin came over to help. "Dude," he whispered, looking at the box. "You really think she'll go for it?" Marcus smirked. "She can't resist. She's addicted to stealing. It's like a game to her. They placed the box neatly on the porch and set up the camera. Now it was just a waiting game. Karen takes the bait. That afternoon, Karen's white SUV pulled into her driveway. She stepped out, sunglasses perched on her nose, and immediately spotted the box. Her eyes lit up. She glanced around, pretending to check her mailbox, then strutted over to Marcus's porch. Devin whispered from inside, "Here she comes." Marcus kept the camera rolling. Karen bent down, lifted the box, and chuckled to herself. "Another one," she muttered. But the second she carried it across her yard, the crate inside shifted. The skunk let out a loud hiss. Karen froze. "What the?" she whispered. Then came the smell. A sharp, powerful blast of skunk spray filled the air. Karen screamed, dropping the box so fast it nearly flipped. The stench spread instantly, clinging to her clothes, her hair, everything. From inside, Marcus and Devin doubled over laughing. "Oh my God!" Devin wheezed. "She's done." "She's done?" Karen ran in circles in her driveway, gagging, waving her arms before sprinting into her house. But the smell followed her inside. Marcus turned off the camera with a satisfied grin. "Game over," he said. For 2 days straight, the smell of skunk lingered around Karen's house. Her curtains were wide open as if airing the place out would save it, but nothing helped. Neighbors whispered as they passed by, holding their noses. Kids laughed when she stepped outside, her hair still smelling faintly of the attack. Marcus didn't brag. He didn't need to. The video spoke for itself. Sitting in his living room, he re-watched the footage on his laptop. Karen walking up with confidence, stealing the package. Then running around gagging in her driveway, it was gold. Devin leaned over his shoulder, wiping tears of laughter from his eyes. "Man," Devin said, "you could post this online and go viral tomorrow." Marcus shook his head. "I'm not trying to be famous. I just wanted her to stop." "Still," Devin said, "this is justice. Pure justice. HOA meeting trouble." But of course, Karen wasn't going to let it slide. That Friday evening, the HOA held their monthly meeting in the neighborhood clubhouse. Marcus almost skipped it, but something in his gut told him to show up. When he walked in, the air was thick with tension. Karen sat at the head of the table, her face red, her pearl necklace slightly askew. The moment Marcus entered, her voice rang out. "There he is! The troublemaker!" The room went quiet. Neighbors turned to look at Marcus. Some curious, some nervous, a few already smirking. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Troublemaker? For living in my own home?" Karen stood up. "This man set a wild animal loose in this community. A dangerous animal. He put everyone at risk." Marcus folded his arms. "Correction. I placed a skunk in a secure crate on my own porch. A porch you keep trespassing on." Gasps rippled through the room. One neighbor, Mrs. Henderson, whispered loudly, "Wait, is she really stealing packages?" Karen's face twisted. "That is a lie. I was protecting the neighborhood. I was taking unattended packages into safekeeping." Marcus pulled out his phone and tapped play. The video appeared on the screen, loud and clear. Karen walking up, laughing, taking his box, and then the skunk explosion. The room erupted. Some people laughed outright. Others groaned in disgust at the smell they remembered from her house. Karen's eyes darted around, desperate. This is harassment. He targeted me." But the damage was done. A man in a baseball cap stood up. "Karen, I've had packages go missing too. You telling me you were keeping those safe too?" Another woman, clutching her purse, said, "I saw you once with a stack of boxes in your garage. I didn't think much at the time, but now..." Voices rose. One by one, neighbors began sharing small suspicions, little things they had ignored. Suddenly, all the pieces fit. Karen's face grew pale. She tried to shout over them. "You don't understand. I was protecting you. This neighborhood needs rules, order, discipline." But nobody wanted to hear it anymore. Marcus waited until the noise died down. Then he said clearly, "All I ever wanted was to live peacefully here. But peace doesn't mean letting someone steal from me. Not anymore." Let's pause here for you. If you were Marcus, would you release the video online to expose Karen? Or would you keep it private just for the HOA? What's the better move, going public or keeping the peace? Let me know what you think before you see what Marcus decides. The meeting ended with the board agreeing to review the evidence. But Karen still had influence. The next morning, Marcus woke up to find a bright orange notice taped to his door. Violation unapproved camera equipment. Must be removed within 7 days. Marcus ripped it down, furious. She's still at it, he muttered. Devin came over later that day, shaking his head. She's like a cartoon villain who won't quit. What you gonna do now? Marcus paced his living room. If she wants a war, fine, but I'm not stooping to her level. I'm going to outsmart her. Word spread fast. The skunk incident became neighborhood gossip. People joked about Karen's new perfume. Kids left toy skunks on her lawn. Even the mailman chuckled when he delivered letters. Karen, furious and humiliated, doubled down. She started filing petty complaints against Marcus. Grass too long. Trash bins left out, car parked at the wrong angle. But every time she tried, Marcus came prepared. He documented everything. Photos, timestamps, video clips. The more she fought, the more she exposed herself as obsessed. One evening, Marcus sat with Devin, scrolling through all the evidence he had gathered. This isn't just about me anymore, Marcus said. She's been bullying the whole neighborhood. Somebody has to stop her for good. Devin grinned. And that somebody is you, huh? Marcus looked out the window at Karen's house, her blinds twitching as if she were spying again. Yeah, he said quietly. It's me. Marcus thought back to the laughter at the meeting, the way neighbors were starting to question Karen, starting to see her for who she really was. If one video of her could break her mask, what would happen if everyone saw the full truth? That night, Marcus uploaded the footage, not just the skunk prank, but the earlier clips of her stealing packages, onto a private folder. He drafted a message to the HOA board and the neighbors. His finger hovered over the send button, but then he stopped. Something inside him said, if I send this, there's no going back. She'll be done. Humiliated completely. And he wondered, did she deserve total destruction? Or just enough embarrassment to make her stop? The next morning, Marcus found a note slipped under his door. It wasn't official HOA paper. It was handwritten. Stop your games or you'll regret it. Karen's handwriting. Marcus held the note, his chest tightening. This wasn't just about packages anymore. This was personal. And Marcus knew one thing for sure. The war with Karen had only just begun. Marcus stared at the note in his hands. His fingers curled tightly around the paper. Stop your games or you'll regret it. He read it again and again, anger mixing with something sharper. Unease. Devin sat across from him at the kitchen table, chewing on a slice of pizza. Man, that's straight up a threat. She's lost her mind. Marcus dropped the note flat on the table. She thinks intimidation is going to scare me off. But this is proof. She just handed me a weapon. Devin leaned in. So what you gonna do, police? Marcus hesitated. He didn't want to be the guy constantly dragging cops into neighborhood drama. But at the same time, Karen had crossed a line. Not yet, Marcus said firmly. I'll hold on to it. First, I need the neighbors on my side. Over the next week, Marcus noticed something changing in the neighborhood. People who used to smile politely now stopped to chat. Hey, Marcus, Mrs. Henderson said one afternoon, holding her dog's leash. I just wanted to say, I saw the video. My grandson showed me. Honestly, thank you. Someone had to stand up to her. Marcus blinked. Wait, you saw the video? She nodded. It's on Facebook. Somebody must have leaked it. Don't worry, folks aren't laughing at you. They're laughing at her. Marcus pulled out his phone and checked. Sure enough, the skunk video was everywhere. Dozens of shares, hundreds of comments. HOA Queen gets sprayed, one caption read. Instant karma, another said. Marcus hadn't posted it. Devin swore he hadn't either. But somehow it was out in the wild. And the neighborhood loved it. Of course, Karen saw it too. That evening, Marcus heard a loud pounding on his door. He opened it to find Karen, her face flushed, holding up her phone. You think this is funny? She screeched. You humiliated me! You slandered me! I could sue you for this! Marcus leaned on the doorframe, calm. I didn't post that video. Don't lie to me, she snapped. You're going to regret this. I'll have you removed from this community. Mark my words! Marcus tilted his head. Funny. I thought the HOA was supposed to keep the community safe, not steal from it. Karen's jaw dropped. She had no comeback. Finally, with a furious growl, she stormed off his porch. Later that night, Marcus got a knock at the door. Not Karen this time, but 3 neighbors. Mr. Lee, a retired teacher, Jasmine, a young mother. and David, the guy with the baseball cap from the meeting. "Hey, Marcus," David said. "We saw how she came at you earlier. You don't have to fight her alone." Marcus frowned. "I appreciate that, but Karen runs the board. She'll just twist everything." "Not if enough of us speak up," Jasmine said. "She's been harassing people for years. My husband stopped ordering packages because half of them disappeared. She blamed porch pirates, but now we know better." Mr. Lee nodded. "We're ready to vote her out, but we'll need your help. You've got the strongest evidence." Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in weeks: relief. He wasn't fighting this battle alone anymore. Question for you. If your whole neighborhood rallied behind you against someone like Karen, would you take the high road and just remove her from power? Or would you push harder to make her pay for everything she's done? Comment what you'd do, because Marcus has to decide very soon. The next day, Marcus came home from work to find his yard completely trashed. His trash bins were knocked over, his flower beds stomped flat, and spray paint marked across his driveway. Devin stood next to him, shaking his head. "She's not even subtle anymore. This is vandalism. You gotta call the cops now." Marcus took photos documenting everything. His hands were steady, his voice calm. "She wants me to lose control. I'm not giving her that satisfaction." Still, when he lay in bed that night, anger gnawed at him. How far was she willing to go? A few days later, the HOA board announced a special meeting. Karen was still acting like nothing was wrong, sitting tall with her pearls and clipboard. But when Marcus walked in, he noticed something different. Almost half the seats were filled with neighbors. Arms crossed, faces hard. Karen cleared her throat. "Tonight we're addressing a matter of great concern, the inappropriate actions of one resident, Mr. Marcus Johnson." She gestured dramatically, as if she were in a courtroom. "He has harassed me, endangered the neighborhood with a wild animal, and violated several HOA rules." Marcus stood. "Are you finished?" Karen smirked. "Not even close." But before she could go on, David from the back spoke up. "We're finished with you, Karen." The room stirred. Jasmine stood too. "You've stolen from us, lied to us, harassed us. And when Marcus exposed you, you tried to paint him as the villain. Enough is enough." A wave of voices followed. "Yeah, we're done. Step down, Karen." Karen's face went white. "You can't do this. I am the HOA president." Mr. Lee raised his hand calmly. "Not for long. We called for a vote." The tension in the room was electric. One by one, hands went up. Almost every neighbor present voted to remove Karen as HOA president. Only 2 people kept their hands down, Karen herself and her closest friend. The board recorded the votes. The decision was clear. Karen's voice cracked. "You can't do this to me. I built this neighborhood. I kept it safe." Marcus spoke softly, but his words cut through the room. "No, Karen, you kept it under fear. That ends tonight." But Karen wasn't done. She stormed out of the meeting, slamming the door so hard the glass rattled. Marcus walked back to his house later, exhausted but relieved. For the first time, he thought maybe things could finally calm down, until he saw smoke. His porch, his beautiful wooden porch. A small fire was burning where someone had set a pile of papers alight. Marcus ran forward, stomping it out, his heart pounding. The flames hadn't spread far, thank God, but the message was clear. This wasn't just HOA politics anymore. Karen had declared war. Marcus's heart pounded as he stomped out the last of the flames on his porch. The air smelled like smoke and burnt paper. His palms were shaking, not just from adrenaline, but from rage. Devin rushed over minutes later, out of breath. "Bro, I saw the smoke from the corner. You okay?" Marcus nodded slowly. "She did this." Devin's eyes widened. "You serious? That's arson, man. That's prison time." Marcus held up the charred remains of the note Karen had left him days before. The handwriting was the same. The message was clear: intimidation. But this had gone way beyond notes. "We call the cops," Devin said firmly. "This ends tonight." Marcus hesitated for a second, but then his resolve hardened. "You're right. No more playing games. Police involvement." When the officers arrived, Marcus showed them everything. The burnt pile on the porch, the threatening note, the video evidence of stolen packages. He didn't need to exaggerate. Karen's actions spoke for themselves. One officer, a tall woman with a calm voice, nodded. "Sir, this isn't just harassment anymore. This is criminal. We'll be paying Ms. Whitfield a visit tonight." Marcus finally exhaled. For the first time, the weight on his chest lifted. Karen's last stand. But Karen wasn't the type to go down quietly. The very next morning, she stood outside Marcus's house screaming at the top of her lungs. "You set me up. You're ruining my life. Everyone will see the truth. I'm the victim here." Neighbors peeked from behind their curtains, whispering, shaking their heads. Some even pulled out phones to record. Marcus stepped outside, calm and collected. "Karen, the truth is already out. You did this to yourself." Her face twisted with fury. She grabbed one of his flower pots and hurled it across the yard. That was the last straw. Police cruisers pulled up, lights flashing. Officers stepped out and surrounded her. "Ma'am," the officer said, "you're under arrest for vandalism, theft, harassment, and attempted arson." Karen's voice broke as they cuffed her hands. "You can't do this. I'm the HOA president. I run this neighborhood." Marcus looked her dead in the eye. "Not anymore." The neighborhood reacts. As the police car drove off with Karen inside, neighbors slowly gathered around Marcus's yard. Jasmine stepped forward first. "Marcus, thank you. You stood up when no one else would." Mr. Lee added, "We were scared of her for years. You showed us we didn't have to be." Even the mailman gave him a nod. "Guess I don't have to worry about packages disappearing anymore." Marcus smiled faintly. He wasn't a hero. He was just a man who refused to be bullied. But seeing the relief on their faces, he realized something. His fight wasn't just about him anymore. It was about the whole community. Quick pause. Have you ever dealt with a Karen in your life? Someone who thought they could control everyone else and get away with it? How did you handle it? Share your story, because these moments remind us why standing up matters. Weeks passed. The HOA board held another vote, this time without Karen looming over them. David was elected president, Jasmine became treasurer, and Mr. Lee offered to serve as secretary. Together, they rewrote the rules, simpler, fairer, with actual input from the neighbors. No more spying, no more intimidation. Marcus even joined a committee, not because he wanted power, but because he knew silence allowed people like Karen to thrive. He wasn't going to stay silent anymore. Karen's fate. As for Karen, her trial was messy. The stolen package evidence, the threats, the fire, it was too much to ignore. She lost her position, her reputation, and eventually, her house. She moved out of the neighborhood, leaving behind the same stench of bitterness she always carried. But for Marcus, there was no satisfaction in her downfall, just closure. One evening, he sat on his rebuilt porch with Devin, sipping iced tea. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange. "You know," Devin said, "you could have just moved when she started all this." Marcus smirked. "Yeah, but then she would have won, and everyone else here would still be living in fear." Devin raised his glass. "To standing your ground." Marcus clinked his glass against his friend's. "To peace. Real peace. And that's where the story ends. But here's where you come in. If you take one thing from Marcus's fight, let it be this. Bullies thrive on silence. Whether it's a toxic neighbor, a controlling boss, or someone in your life who thinks they can walk all over you, remember, you have the power to stand up. You don't always need revenge. Sometimes all it takes is speaking up, showing proof and refusing to be pushed around. So I'll ask you this. Who's your Karen? And when the time comes, will you stay silent or will you stand tall like Marcus did?